Tequila, Shivarim, Rua, Tequila Gedola.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome back to Temple Beth Shalom. We're so pleased that you're here. I just want to say that was a very long Tekiah Gedolah. So, Yasher Koach to our clergy who have big lungs, as they say. We're so pleased that you're here with us this evening. Shabbat services will be led by Rabbi Pomerantz, Rabbi Loibin, and Cantor Siegel. And I know we have a lovely family in person. Julie and Jeff Kane are here to lead candle lighting and kiddush, so we look forward to that in just a few minutes. There's a lot going on. As we all know, the high holidays are quickly approaching. We ask you to go to our website to look for all the latest news and updates. Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. we begin the official entrance into the high holidays with our Slichot program and service. There are two options. There'll be an outdoor in-person program and service and also in Zoom. So on Zoom. So please feel free to come with us. There's a lot of programming going on. We're in the midst of Elul, the last week, so there's a lot of things going on. There's meditation, there are updates. And of course, on Tuesday, September the 7th, is our big outdoor family picnic. But as always, go to the website and check. But meanwhile, it's Shabbat, and we want to take this opportunity to wish you all a warm Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy.
Psalm 27, Achat Sha'alti. One thing I ask of Adonai is to dwell in your house all the days of my life. This beautiful psalm we chant the entire month of Elul. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Cantor, for that beautiful psalm. And normally I really can't stand wearing masks because you can't see that I'm smiling under here. But today, this afternoon, when I got home from Temple, there was a box waiting for me. And in that box from Temple Beth Shalom was a little honey cake and 4 beautiful masks that actually fit me and a Yizkor candle. And so I hope if you have not yet received your gift from the temple for the High Holy Days, that when you do, you enjoy it, and that you enjoy wearing these lovely masks that we have to wear. This week, as we draw nearer to the High Holy Days, we read a Torah portion called Ki Tavo, which is all about arrival in the Promised Land. It contains instructions for the Israelites about what they are to do when they finally enter the Promised Land. And their first order of business was to express gratitude by bringing offerings for their harvest, from their harvest to the local priest. And then they are instructed to recount their collective history all the way from slavery until the present. Part of this history is contained actually in our Passover Seders, which we recite every year, this passage from our portion, Arami Oved Avi, my father was a wandering Aramaean. Expressing gratitude and remembering where we come from are both essential to what it means to be a Jew. And in fact, these 2 things are part of every Shabbat service when we gather. We express gratitude through brachot, through saying prayers like the Modim, and we recount our history in reciting prayers like the Mi Chamocha, where we recall our redemption from Egypt. To be a Jew is to remember and to give thanks and praise. And so we open our Shabbat service with the kindling of Shabbat candles, thanking God for this opportunity to sanctify our lives through Shabbat. And it is my joy to welcome Jeff and Julie Kane to kindle the Shabbat candles. Page 2.
Do you want?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Vaychulu hashamayim v'ha'eretz v'chol tzva'am. Vayechol Elohim b'yom hashvi'i malchatu asher asa. Vayishbot b'yom hashvi'i mechol melachto asher asa. Vayiverech Elohim et yom hashvi'i v'yikadesh oto ki vo Shabbat mechol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Do we read the rest?
Okay. Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reshit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you, Cain. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue our service with the singing of Zamru Ladonai. And for those of you who are with us here in the sanctuary, it is on page 16 in your prayer books.
Zamru Ladonai, Zamru Ladonai bechinor, lai lai la lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. Oh, lie, 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 together. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Zamru Ladonai bechinor, bechinor, bekol zimra. Shofar, Hariu Livnei HaMelech Adonai. Oh, lai, 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 lai. Continue with the words of Lecha Dodi, come my beloved, we welcome the Sabbath bride, and that is on page 20 in our prayer books, and we rise at the final verse to welcome the Sabbath bride. Hugo, you can sit down, the final verse. Yalla la 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 Lecha Dodi, yalla la 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 Likrat Kala. Yalla la la la, Pnei Shabbat, Pnei Shabbat nekabed. Yalla la la la, Lecha Dodi. Yalla la la la, Likrat Kala. Yalla la la la, Pnei Shabbat. Shamor v'zachor v'ribor echad hishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad l'shemu tiveret v'litchila P'nei Shabbat, P'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem. Nesucha Sop Ma'aseh B'machshava techila Ya la la Ya la 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 Chadodi Ya la 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 Nekrat Kala Ya la 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 P'nei Shabbat P'nei Shabbat nekavela Hitoreri, hitoreri, hivorek, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alayech nigla. Ya la 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 P'nei Shabbat P'nei Shabbat nekavela Bo'vi v'shalom Ateret bala Ngam b'simcha Uv'sohola Toch emuneh Am segula Bo'vi chala Bo'vi chala Ya la la Ya la 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 Lecha dodi Ya la 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 Likrat kala Ya la 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 P'nei Shabbat P'nei Shabbat nekave Ya la 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 Lecha dodi Ya la 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 Likrat kala Ya la 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 P'nei Shabbat P'nei Shabbat nekavela
We continue our prayers with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
We remain standing as we reflect on the words of Shema, our Torah portion, and indeed all of the upcoming holy days are concerned with the notion of personal choice. The portion reminds us again and again to choose blessing over curse. Rabbi Chaim Stern once wrote, "My life is the sum of my choices, small and large, but mostly small. Oh God, keep me from thinking that this or that small decision will not matter, that no one will notice or care. Make me notice, make me care, so that I take my choices seriously." As we recite these words of the Shema, we are called to listen, to pay attention, to notice, even what seems small. Shema, listen, be present. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derech uvshokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We turn to page 40 for the words of Mi Chamocha, recalling our exodus from Egypt and savoring our freedoms.
One more time. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, netar b'kodesh norah tehilot osefele. One more time. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, netar b'kodesh norah tehilot osefele.
Mi
yimloch, Adonai le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, Adonai le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Goy Yisrael. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Nedar b'kodesh norah tehilo useh beheleh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Thank you, Cantor, and thank you to our dancers. It has been a long time since we've had anybody dancing in the sanctuary. So thank you for bringing us that joy and that beauty.
And that's what freedom sounds like.
I mean it. We are going to continue our prayers with the Hashkivenu prayer. I invite you, if you're here with us in the sanctuary, to open your prayer book to page 43 so we can share these words together. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'shalom, L'shalom, Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim u'l'shalom u'l'shalom. Hashkivenu, Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom. Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom.
We turn now in our prayer books to page 46 for the opening words of Hatfilah, the Amidah, the central worship prayers in which we rise if we're able. And once again, we remember our history with these words.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atarav lahoshia. Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh me'emunato, Lishenei ahafar, Bichamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanat al hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue our prayers silently, either the prayers in the prayer book or the prayers of your heart. And as you conclude, you may be seated.
Shema Kolenu from our High Holy Day liturgy. Beginning on Slichot and all throughout the High Holy Day season, we pray that God hears our voices and our prayers and accepts them with compassion and grace. Shema Kolenu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus verachem aleinu, vekabel berachamim, uvratzon et filateinu. Won't you hear our voice above all the noise and have mercy on our souls? We are in your care. Won't you hear our prayer and forgive us, forgive us. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus verachem aleinu, vekabel ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו. When we've lost our way, give us one more day to return to what is true. Won't you take us in so we can begin a new year? Won't you please hear? Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu Chus v'rachem aleinu v'kabel merachamim uvratzon et tfilateinu uvratzon et tfilateinu uvratzon et tfilateinu.
Shabbat Shalom. I came across a tweet this week that said, I feel like after the year we've had, our rabbi should be able to stand up on Rosh Hashanah and just exclaim, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know what to say. And we'd all kind of nod and say, cheers. So many fibers of my being resonate with this. Just thinking about what's happened this week, this month, this summer, let alone this year. It's so overwhelming. And we even had a blip of normalcy, which seems distant and almost unfair. Here we are, planning for another high holy days in our own individual places, together but separated. And that is just speaking about COVID. There are so many people in our world that deserve the attention of our hearts right now, and it's hard to know what to say. It's so easy to focus on the negative events of this year. Too easy. And yet, to say nothing at all, as the tweet jokingly argued, while tempting, would actually not be fair to the year as a whole. Sure, there are so many negatives we can point out, always. And those often seem louder and are remembered for longer. That's human nature. So much so that our Torah portion, Ki Tavo, speaks to this. Our ancient ancestors find themselves nearing the end of this part of their journey as Moses is in the midst of his final speech. There are so many things he could have mentioned that were bleak. The golden calf, a plague that killed thousands, a 40-year route that could have taken a few weeks, just to name a few. While we can learn from each of those tragic and dramatic events, and it's important to remember them, those traumas were likely etched into the hearts of the community. He didn't need to bring them to their attention. Instead, Moses takes this moment to point out some of the many miracles that the community experienced. Moses says to all of Israel, "You have seen all that the Lord did before your very eyes in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all of his courtiers and to his whole country. The wondrous feats that you saw with your own eyes, those extraordinary signs and marvels." And he continues, "I led you through the wilderness 40 years. The clothes on your back did not wear out, nor did the sandals on your feet." He had to remind the community about all of those miracles. Their freedom was a miracle. The splitting of the sea was a miracle. The food that fell from the heavens was a miracle. And the fact that the community was able to stay together and grow into a new generation and have the opportunity to finally reach the promised land. All this and more. So many miracles. And Moses knows, he knew, that we are all too quickly to forget those. He experienced this several times in the desert. The community would witness a wondrous occasion and then something wouldn't go their way and they would just as quickly forget. And yet, in a verse that comes between Moses recalling the many miracles, he almost interrupts himself by saying, "To this day, God has not given you a heart to understand or eyes to see or hear or ears to hear. It's as if he knew, and God knew, that while they saw such things, they would need to be reminded of them in the future. The Hebrew word lev means heart, and the Hebrew word leda'at means to know. But here, it's really, truly to understand. Rashi, one of our most well-known commentators, says that a heart to know means to recognize the kind acts of God and to cleave to God. I always appreciated that according to the rabbis, the heart was known to essentially act as what we now call and consider the mind. And this knowing that the heart is meant to do, it's referring to a different kind of knowing, one that isn't rational or logical. This is a soulful knowing, one that can only come from the heart. This is to know gratitude. This is a kind of knowing that keeps us from taking things in life for granted. This kind of knowing sees every silver lining and holds them close. How many people walk past flowers, bodies of water, or other people while on their phones without taking a minute to recognize their beauty? How many of us enjoy a delicious meal without taking a minute to recognize what a true blessing that is? How many times do we talk to family near and far with technology that allows us to almost feel as if we're in the same room without thinking about what a real wonder that ability is, especially during this time? The Torah, through Moses, is trying to tell us that to know miracles and blessings in our life means to pay attention, recognize them, and be thankful. That is how our hearts know. I was inspired this week to learn that two of my friends actually have daily habits of recounting miracles. One friend has a gratitude journal where she writes down things for which she is thankful, big or small, every single morning and every single evening. The other has an email chain where every single night she and her two friends write out a list of 5 things that brought them joy that day. Some days it's coffee or a new flavor of seltzer or the ease of takeout, and other days it's an engagement or a new pregnancy. This has gone on for years, thousands of emails. Imagine the number of miracles. I'm in awe of these practices, and they both made me really think about the year at a glance we are meant to do in this season. Teshuvah is not only about repenting, it's also a recounting. It is about returning to ourselves, to our souls, and taking a good, hard look into the sacred mirror as we journey through self-discovery. We often think of this time as a way to reflect on the ways that we have missed the mark, but we are also given this time to look back on all those signs and wonders that touched our lives. As we set goals for how we want to adjust our behaviors and habits in the future, hopefully we can include adding practices of gratitude. What are all the ways our heart knows the good in our lives? How can we work to remember all the wonders and signs that have occurred throughout the past year? We don't have the luxury of Moses recalling all the good, but we do have the ability to use this time to recall for ourselves and to remind our loved ones. As you look back and reflect, think about what has brought you joy in the year 5781. I hope we can all continue this practice throughout this season and in the year to come. My blessing for all of us is to pay attention to the many wonders and deeds of the divine and to hold on to them tightly, carrying them with us forever in our knowing hearts. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi Leuben, for those inspirational words. As we continue our service before the Mishberach, I want to share with you a Hasidic teaching that the only thing that is truly whole in the entire world is a broken heart. As we think about where we live in this moment, here is a world that has not yet been redeemed, a world in which there is tragedy. The question is, how could a moral and sensitive man or woman walk about with a heart that is not broken? As Israel Knox once said, the brokenhearted, paradoxically and profoundly, are the wholehearted. Our Misha Barak prayer is for all those who are in need of a blessing, whether you are broken of heart or spirit or body. And so if you have a loved one for whom you are praying, I invite you to please share that name with us so that we might all pray on their behalf. And I invite those of you at home to also share those names out loud. Yonatan ben Leah and Ayal ben Rachel. Page 253, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech veYirapeh et HaCholim Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu Yivarech veYirapeh et HaCholim.
And despite all of the brokenness, there are those moments of unmitigated joy about which Rabbi Leuben spoke. And one of them is the birth of a new child, one of the biggest ones. And so I invite up our new baby, Lily Hannah, with her parents for this ceremony, and her big sister, Sydney, for this ceremony of receiving her name. Hi. Hi. Hi, Sydney. Hi, Ben. And so we had the pleasure of watching Lily's mother grow up at Temple Beth Shalom, and now we get to watch her daughters grow up at the synagogue, and it is a joy. And Lily Hannah, you are a lucky girl to be part of this wonderful family. And it is nearly her first birthday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When is it?
On the 31st.
On the 31st. Nearly her first birthday, so we're getting this in under the wire. And because a whole year without a name is hard. But now we're going to bless her with these words. Eloheinu velohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our fathers and mothers, velohei benotenu, and God of our children. Kayem et hayada hazot le'aviha u'le'imah. Sustain this beautiful daughter through her parents' love. V'yikara shema b'Yisrael, and let her name be known in Israel as Shoshana Hannah, and in English, Lily Hannah. And those are beautiful names that you have chosen, Benjamin and Rachel. And I want to just say a word about them and then invite you to say a word about them. So her first name, Lily, or Shoshana, Shoshana is a lily, and it's a perfect name not only because of her beauty, but for the person for whom she was named is Rachel's grandmother, Rose. So two beautiful flowers, and both of them are called Shoshana. And then her middle name in both English and Hebrew is Hannah, which means God's grace, grace of God, which is truly a beautiful child. and that she is named for Ben's grandmother, who was called Hannah. Even though her name was Helen, she was called Hannah by her grandchildren. So I'm going to move over and invite you all to say a word about those people for whom she's named.
Thank you, Rabbi. Hi, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Lily is named her first name for my maternal grandmother, Rose Duelberg, who was a strong and smart and very sharp-humored woman. And I think Lily is going to be a smart, strong little girl, too. And her middle name...
Lily Hannah, you are the sweetest, happiest little girl. Your smile lights up my day, and I'm proud to be your dad. Hannah is very special to me because it was your Papa Howard's mother, Helen's name, and that's what she was affectionately called by all of her grandchildren. She was the matriarch of the Gellis family and was a loving, nurturing woman. She would be proud to call you her granddaughter. I love you more than numbers.
And what's really unbelievable is that she's up here smiling, even though she can't see us smiling with our masks on. She's just smiling naturally. And the other wonderful thing for us is that she's with us here at Temple Beth Shalom every day in our infant care room. So you're going to grow up feeling very comfortable here. We continue with our blessing, Zot HaKatana Gedola Tiyeh, which means this little one, may she one day be large. And we're not just talking about tall like her dad, or strong like her sister, or beautiful like her mother. We're talking large in spirit, that she should have a big heart, that she should know her place in the world. And now I'm going to invite all of you to help me in blessing her by repeating these names after me. These words. Keshem, Shenik Nasa, Labrit, Kain, Tikanes, La Torah, La Chuppah, Uma'asim Tovim. And what we've just prayed for is that just as today she has entered into the covenant with God and the Jewish people, so may she enter into a life of Torah, of learning. And that's your responsibility as parents, to make sure you teach her, and we will be your partners in helping to teach her as she grows up here at Temple Beth Shalom. And what we've also prayed for is that she should, no rush, but one day find a partner to be with her under the chuppah, meaning that she should find companionship and love and partnership in her life. And finally, little Lily, we're praying that you should be filled, those hands, those little hands, should be filled with ma'asim tovim, with acts of loving kindness. And I know that with parents like you and with a family like this, I have no doubt that she will grow up in that world. And now it is really my pleasure to bless you, and I would love to hold you, but I'm not going to because of this strange time we're living in. But I'm going to put my hand on you, and Ben, if you want to put your hand too. So we'll all join in blessing her, and you too, okay? Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May the light of God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. Thank you for helping me. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you, little Hannah, Shoshana Hannah, and bless you with a lifetime of love, of health, of joy, and of peace. And may you, both of you, Sydney and Lily, be among those who bring that peace to our world. And let us say, Amen.
Simin tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, yeah, lanu. Simin tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, a mazel tov, a simin tov, yeah, lanu.
Mazel tov, and we have this beautiful certificate for you, Lily. see it on the camera. Everybody can see it. And here you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mazel
Thank
Tov. Mazel Tov. Thank you for bringing us some joy on this Shabbat. We are going to continue our service with the chanting of Aleinu. I invite you to please rise as you're able, and we will face Jerusalem.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet geduda liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo samchokenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. I opened our service by talking about gratitude and memory, and this is a moment in our service, of course, where we remember, where we think about all of those who helped us to be who we are, who shaped us, who nurtured us, who brought us joy. We think about Lily Hannah, who is named for two very special people, and all of us carry people like that with us. And so at this moment of memory, we think about all those who have died in the last 30 days, whose families are in the shloshim of their mourning. We remember Barbara Gordon-Jonas, Ira Elegant, Peter Cohn, Stacy Lynn Pepper, Henry Hantgan, Michael Ende, and Carl Hellman. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. We also think about all of those who perished just yesterday in Afghanistan, the members of our armed services. We pray for healing for their families. We think about all of those yortzites that are observed on this Shabbat, whose names have lovingly been inscribed in our alcove of remembrance. We remember Sam Bayer, Joseph Bubis, Saul Cooper, David Matthew Dubrow, Elliot Feinberg, Saul Glotman, Nochim Gollum, Jeanette Gudkowski, Stanley Graham, Andrew Hall, Nard Hellman, Laura Hockman, Natan Hoffman, Rose Lickshine, Barry Menon, Nathan Orion, Ralph Ossico, Jean Ossip, Erica Rosenbaum, Elizabeth Shiner, Leon Stoller, and Hildegard Tobias. And we think of all of those other yortzites that are observed on this Shabbat as well. We remember Betty Beller, Doris Binderman, Laser Braun, Nina Burston, Lottie Constantin, Ida Eisenman, Theodore Epstein, Howard Greenfield, Rosalind Weiss-Gross, Lillian Hirsch, Irvin Knott, Faith Klein, Donald Krasner, Benjamin Kreef, Sam Lastinger, Seymour Lawrence, Bill Meadow, Melvin Sonny Netkin, Leonard Persky, Ruth Feinberg Reynolds, Ira Rosenfeld, Leonard Rosso, Renee Kotick Rustin, Lynn Rikus, Randy Stephen Sheffman, Ruth Tepper Nicholson, Charlotte Yoss, and Milton Yoss. And I invite you all to please rise And turn to page 294 for words of Kaddish. If there's a name of someone you're thinking of that I failed to mention, I invite you to share that name with the congregation at this time. We think as well of the 6 million men, women, and children who perished in the Shoah, the over 24,000 Israeli soldiers who died so that we would have a Jewish homeland. And we remember our fallen American soldiers who died defending our liberties. We take them all into our hearts with our own as we praise God and thank God for their lives. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'vizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'amei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei d'kudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the author of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved here and everywhere with God's blessing of peace. And let us say amen. You may be seated. And now I'm going to share a few brief announcements with all of you. The first, as I said at the opening of services, is for those of you who are members of Temple Beth Shalom, be on the lookout for a special box that has been lovingly prepared for you by our synagogue with these beautiful masks and some sweet honey cake to ring in a blessed new year. We are so disappointed to not be able to celebrate the High Holy Days in person with all of you. But we do hope that you will live stream and experience the services with us, and I promise they will be beautiful and memorable. Tomorrow we have all of our regular Shabbat experiences, Torah study, and minyan, and at 8:00 p.m. in the courtyard, God willing, if it's not raining, we're going to gather for a slichot program. Slichot are prayers of penitence that are always on the Shabbat prior to Rosh Hashanah. We're going to watch a short film with a brief discussion and then have a short service in the courtyard, candlelit courtyard. This is one of my favorite services of the year, and it's one you can experience in person tomorrow evening at 8:00. The service itself will start at 9:00. I also want to remind you this coming week, we have the final installment of our Elul class, which we've had all month. We've been reading a book by Rabbi Alan Liu called This is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared. And the final class will be Wednesday at 5:00, and I'll be teaching it. We'll be reading chapter 7 of the book. Also, if you really want to prepare in advance, on Monday, October 18th, is our Temple Beth Shalom Golf Open. So if you enjoy golfing or have loved ones who do, please encourage them to sign up for that. It's something that we can do outside, so we're really excited about that. So thank you all for being with us for this Shabbat service, for showing up, for sharing your joy, for being present. We're going to conclude our worship this evening with the singing of Oseh Shalom, a prayer for wholeness and peace.
Okay, so this is a special version, and my clergy colleagues don't know that they're going to have to do this yet. So they're going to show you what we want you to learn, and all of you who are watching our stream. So the chorus is, may the one who brings, then you go like this, makes, put it, okay, may the one who makes peace, becomes two on each, bring peace down, bring peace down. Okay? Okay, get it? One finger at a time. May the one who makes peace. You put them together and they turn into peace signs. Bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who brings peace, bring peace down, bring peace down. Okay, that's your big part.
And you want us to sing too?
Yeah. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. Get ready. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Oh, say shalom. Bimroma. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. And may the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.